honor and privilege to share an incredible new paradigm in health called nutrigenomics. And I'm really excited to share this information with all of you tonight. A little bit about myself. I can't believe that I'm actually saying this. I've been with this company now 10 years. I mean, what a journey this has been. First time ever in the network marketing arena. Never endorsed a product. I've spent 30 years in the fitness business. Started way back in 1979, making $2.13 an hour plus commissions. And I tell everybody it was the best time of my life. I mean, it was the beginning of a career. So think about the beginning of your career. I mean, we all have hopes, right? We all have dreams. We all have aspirations. And, you know, mine were to open up health clubs all over this country and literally make millions and millions of dollars. Well, fast forward 20 years. I own 3 here in Jacksonville. I'm certainly not complaining, but it was a rude awakening for me. Even though I owned those 3 gyms, I was still building somebody else's dream. I really got tired of creating millionaires. First and foremost, those 3 gyms that I owned, I didn't own the property that those gyms were on. So guess who made all the money, right? I didn't own the finance company. In those 20 years, I owned those gyms. I mean, literally, that company made over $200 million, and I didn't own the leasing company. So, you know, it was anticlimactic for me. So I got out of the health club business, started my own personal training company, quickly morphed into a wellness company, developed a nationally recognized program that reverses metabolic syndrome. You can say we're living the American dream. Everything is going according to plan. And then what happened in this country in 2009? I mean, the whole ceiling fell in on us economically. And all our eggs were in one basket. You know, we were in the corporate space. And when those companies were forecasting for that following year, trimming fat, unfortunately for my company, wellness was the first on the chopping blocks. We lost 3 6-figure contracts in 30 days, and it literally brought us to our knees. Kind of interesting, when one door is starting to close, it certainly wasn't closed, but we were on the wall of worry financially. I get a phone call, and I was asked to be a keynote speaker in Atlanta. So I went up there to try to drum up new business. And a complete stranger had the courage to walk up to me after my keynote and ask me if I've ever heard of a product called Protandim. And folks, I'm telling you, if there wasn't 8 to 10 people waiting in line to speak to me behind her, I probably would have walked away from her. The next thing came out of that woman's mouth literally retired me from the fitness business 22 months later. And what came out of her mouth was, would I be willing to watch a 9-minute video that ABC Primetime did on this product? And I actually said this sarcastically to her. I go, you mean to tell me ABC News actually did a positive spin on a dietary supplement? Let me see it. I just didn't believe her. I mean, those kind of shows like to poke holes in it, right? They try to debunk what the company's claims were. And when I got back home, I watched that video, and the precise moment this world-renowned scientist, who, by the way, never even heard of before, gives John Quinones his blood test results. I'm elbowing my wife. I'm like, honey, that hasn't happened yet. That's history in the making. And if we can validate this, I think we're onto something. So we're going to watch a little bit of that video tonight to help you to understand where the company is today. Last week, we had 3 doctors on this webinar when we were talking about the launch of our new product. So tonight, my guest, in my own opinion, is more valuable than those 3 doctors. He knows how to build a business. And he's been involved in this industry for 25 years with one company. Now, he just celebrated his 2nd year anniversary with LifeVantage, but in the first 25 years, they generated over $200 million in revenues. They were the top income earners, and that was their only previous company. So you can say they were free agents, right? Every company knew of their accomplishments, and they were after them. And they chose this company. So we're going to welcome Elite Pro 7 Bob Wagner to the webinar. Bob, are you there? How are you?
I am, Gabe. How are you?
Good.
Good.
kind of share that story with everybody. How does it feel to be a free agent? And just kind of, I mean, you know, this business stories sell, right? Kind of share the story on the conversation that you had with Dave Fleming and how eloquent he was on reaching out to you. I think the listening audience would love to hear this story.
Well, you know, unlike a lot of free agents in sports, where they know they're going to be a free agent when the season ends, that didn't happen to us. You know, we got a phone call one morning from the owners of that first company, and they informed us that they had closed the doors and turned off the back office, and our last check was our last check. So you know, free agency came very unexpectedly. Okay, it wasn't something that we were looking for and looking at, but the next day, you know, we started getting a lot of text messages, a lot of messages on social media and phone calls. But one of those calls came from Dave Fleming with LifeVantage. He's a vice president here, and he had done some, I guess, some work for the company that we were at, some consulting work outside, and he knew who we were. We didn't know him. April and I, we had never heard of LifeVantage. We had never heard of Protandem. We had never heard of NRF2 or activation or anything like that. And Dave asked permission to call and share, throw his hat in the ring. You know, throw LifeVantage's hat in the ring and ask if we would consider making LifeVantage our new home for the next 20 plus years. And I got to tell you, Gabe, he probably got a half hour into it, and April and I looked at each other and said, you know, unless this guy gives us a reason to respond to someone else's call, I think we found our new home. And as you know, you were there. Friday was 2 years for us with LifeVantage. I don't know if you knew this. We went over $3 million in sales today since joining. Our team just went over 3 million, and we're working towards Pro 8. You know, it's been exciting, and I just like you can't believe it's been 10 years. April and I just cannot believe it's been 2 years. It just seems like it was yesterday. And then we started looking at all the trips and all the countries and all the things that have happened. And I guess it has to be 2 years, you know, because a lot of things have happened.
Well, it's our intention tonight, Bob, and I strategically wanted you to be on tonight because what we're going to do is we're going to show that ABC Primetime news piece, and then we're going to show the update, okay? And that way you and I don't have to cover a lot of the science. But what our intent is tonight for all the guests that are on. And by the way, if you are a guest on tonight, thank you so much for being on tonight, especially for your time. But I couldn't think of a better person to kind of help you understand how the industry has changed. I mean, literally, I told people, you know, in Hilton Head, what Bob was referring to is his 2-year anniversary, that if you like to have fun, more importantly, if you like to help people, if you like to travel, what Bob was just talking about, and if you like to make a few bucks, this is the industry. It's completely changed since the 60s and 70s when Amway kind of, led the charge. I mean, they opened the gates to this industry, and because the advent of the internet, it's a completely different game, and it's so much fun. So what I want to do right now is I had mentioned in my story, I saw this ABC Primetime news piece, and I can tell you this, folks. All I've done to get to the top of this company is point, guide, and direct people to that video and then put them on the phone with somebody smarter than me. So I thought it was appropriate to start the webinar tonight with the video that I saw back in 2009. Now, I want to set the video up. The video started in 2005. It was live back then. And the company literally was trying to debunk our claim that we can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. That hasn't happened yet. And by the way, oxidative stress is literally how and why we age on a cellular level. It's cell damage, basically what it is, and major contributing factor of how we get diseases. And it was such a massive claim that ABC News tried to debunk it, and it actually became, you know, our commercial. So what I want you to understand is don't shut down when you see it was done in 2005. We purposefully use that video because it's the beginning of the company story. I tell people this all the time. When you read a book, do you start the book from the middle or the end, or you start the book from the beginning? So you have to understand this company, how it formed after that ABC Primetime News piece. And that's what Bob and I are going to share with you. So this is it's going to take about 11 minutes, okay, to watch this video. But what I want you to understand, you're witnessing history in the making. And then on the update, it talks about how and why this flagship product, Protandim, reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. We now know in 2011 that it activates a pathway called NRF2. So let's watch this video.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Can you scoop? Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body.
Leading to disease.
Leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
The scientific evidence is there. The pieces seem to make sense. The question is, does this translate into something that humans can take advantage of?
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease?
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
Dr. James Crapo with the National Jewish Medical Center in Denver is also researching Protandim for the company.
Are you saying that this could be a cure-all?
You're looking at something will have a small impact, but an important impact.
We make no claims about curing any disease or preventing any disease. We hope that when enough studies are done, perhaps such claims might be able to be made in the future.
Clinical studies to assess Protandim in both diabetes and heart disease should start in 3 to 4 months. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would. I can't guarantee it's going to extend your life. I can't guarantee it's going to eliminate any diseases or cure any diseases.
But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative Report you just viewed that originally aired in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim's unique benefits. They are published in major scientific and medical journals. The next video will bring you up to date.
Developed after 40 years of research and exclusively for LifeVantage, Protandim is a true scientific breakthrough in anti-aging. Protandim has been reported on ABC, NBC, and PBS, featured in the Wall Street Journal, and described in CNN Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta's book, Chasing Life: The Quest for Immortality. Protandim's creator, Dr. Joe McCord, is a world-renowned scientist and a pioneer in free radical biology. Dr. McCord is the discoverer of the key anti-aging enzyme superoxide dismutase. His role in the discovery is so significant, the enzyme is measured in McCord units. For Dr. McCord's discovery of superoxide dismutase and his contributions in free radical biology, he was awarded the Elliott Cresson Medal. This medal is awarded to distinguished inventors and scientists, putting Dr. McCord in the same company as Pierre and Marie Curie, Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wright, and Henry Ford. Dr. Joe McCord has devoted his life's work to the study of free radicals, their role in aging, and the many problems associated with aging. Consumers spend billions every year on antioxidants in the form of food and supplements, hoping to reduce these free radicals. But antioxidants from these sources can only eliminate one free radical for every one antioxidant molecule you consume. Protandim is scientifically proven to slow cellular damage caused by free radicals. Taking one Protandim 1 time per day for 30 days turns on these anti-aging enzymes in your body. Your own enzymes eliminate free radicals at a rate of 1 million to 1.
I think any other supplements that are designed to be antioxidant supplements probably are no longer needed, because Protandim solves that problem in a much more effective way.
Protandim is a breakthrough poised to revolutionize the anti-aging industry. It is an entirely new and scientifically validated way to fight aging, reducing your oxidative stress levels to that of a 20-year-old after just 30 days.
We found, as many other scientists had documented, that there is a progressive increase in T-bars in your blood the older you get. When these same people took Protandim for 30 days, the age-dependent increase in lipid peroxidation was completely eliminated. After Protandim, we could no longer distinguish the 80-year-old from the 20-year-old.
Protandim is protected by 3 U.S. patents. Universities around the world continue to initiate and fund their own studies of Protandim and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the hundreds of problems associated with aging.
Many academic scientists at a number of universities have begun studying Protandim because it represents a new tool. It represents a way of reducing oxidative stress that wasn't available before. There simply was not a good way of doing what Protandim does. Protandim interacts with the DNA in your cells and causes the cells to make more of a set of genes called survival genes. The ingredients in Protandim were actually selected because they're largely metabolized by the liver, which does not interfere with most prescription drugs, which are generally metabolized by the kidneys. So the general answer to that is yes, it is safe. The immediate benefits of Protandim are within several days, the biochemical markers of oxidative stress begin to decrease. And while these are immediate improvements, you may not sense that these things are happening, just as you can't sense what your cholesterol level is, if it's high or low. But nonetheless, these benefits start happening within days of taking Protandim. The advantages to taking Protandim in the long term are that it protects your body from the relentless progression of free radical damage as we age. The anti-aging aspect of Protandim is one that accumulates over time. So the longer you take it, the more protection you will sustain. Missing a dose of Protandim is not a big problem. It takes about 2 weeks for the effects to go away. So if you miss it for 2 weeks, you're pretty much back to where you started from.
Okay, that video, the ABC Primetime, the first 8 or 9 minutes of that video really put this company on the map. Hey, Bob, got a question for you. The company that you were with for those 25 years, what if that company had an advertisement like the ABC Primetime? Would it help you get a few more customers?
Yeah, maybe a few 100,000 more customers.
Well,
maybe a few million.
Well, that's exactly what happened. So folks, I'm going to kind of run you through a little bit and kind of bring you up to date, but that was the beginning of the company's story. And for those of you that are brand spanking new and have not seen that ABC Primetime news piece, I think you'll find it absolutely fascinating. So basically, I'm going to bring you up to today. Today, we're a nutrigenomic company, and you can see what the Today Show says. The latest trend in nutrition isn't a fad diet or a newly discovered supplement. It's your DNA. And what Fox News says, it's the ability to use nutrition to affect our genes, means that we are no longer at the mercy of our DNA. So basically, Nutra is food, genetics is gene expression, turning down the bad genes, turning up the good genes. It's absolutely fascinating. And what you have to understand is you're going to be hearing this term biohacking, biohacker, and we're all biohackers. If you've worked out before, you're biohacking your body. If you've watched your diet for a short period of time, you're biohacking your body. But today, the elements that we're faced with, we're being hijacked. And hijack basically is taking over something and using it for a destructive purpose, where biohacking is taking control of your own biology. So if you really think about it, we're being hijacked 24/7, whether it's physically, emotionally, biochemically. I mean, think about the toxins, the EMFs, on these little instruments right here, allergies and things like that. So basically, Protandim, our flagship product, and I'm not going to really go into that because Dr. McCord did a fantastic job, but what I want all of you to understand, this is a nutrigenomic. If you look at the ingredients at the bottom of the screen, you got turmeric extract, which is an anti-inflammatory. You got milk thistle extract, which detoxifies the liver. Green tea, which is anti-cancer, right? It's a thermogenic. And all these are extracts, by the way. Bacopa extracts, which is good for, brain health, memory, and things like that. And ashwagandha is for mental clarity and focus. Now, yes, all of us can go to a spice store and buy those 5 ingredients. And if you take them individually, you can look at this graph right here. Whether it's, ashwagandha is the first one, bacopa is the second one, green tea is the third. Green tea actually goes down. Milk thistle actually goes up a little bit, but folks, it's the recipe. It's the synergy of all 5 ingredients that increases what's known as gene expression 18-fold. So it's 1,800% more effective or more powerful than taking green tea by itself or milk thistle by itself. And that's how and why we got the patents. And that's the most phenomenon part of this whole product. It's backed by science now. There are over 24 peer-reviewed studies. And if you've never heard the term peer-reviewed, it's the most scrutinized way to get something completely validated by experts in that field of study. And if one of those experts doesn't agree, it doesn't make it into the journal. And you're talking about some very powerful journals, the Free Radical Biology and Medicine, so you're talking about the American Heart Association. I mean, these are some big time stuff. There are over, 30 universities that are spending a lot of money on their own dollars on this $40 a month product with diseases that they specialize in. It's just absolutely fascinating because, folks, it's a dietary supplement, all right? So, but it's what's called an activator, all right? And those are the American patents on that slide right there. We actually have, 5 international patents today. This is what Washington State University is saying about NRF2 activation, and that's what our product is. Our product activates the NRF2 pathway, and Washington State says we may be on the verge of new literature on health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That is absolutely incredible. Now, the company now has product lines of Protandim. The NRF2 pathway is not the only pathway that we have. We have an NRF1 pathway that has your body's ability to start making more ATP. ATP is the energy that's required inside the mitochondria. So think about this. As we age, wouldn't you agree that naps are more appealing, right? Because we don't have the energy that we once did when we were young, right? So we drink caffeine, right? That's putting a Band-Aid on it. If you want to get to the root of the problem, and it's getting your own body to do its own work, what your body was meant to do for the first 20 years of life. And that's make more good guys. And that's what these products do. And you can look at the bottom of the screen, it's a nutrigenomic. You just have different products. I'm not going to spend the time to go into that. And last weekend, or the weekend before last, we just launched our 3rd Protandem line, and that's another tier 1 product. It's called Protandem NAD Synergizer. And you can look at the bottom, it is a nutrigenomic. And what's so fascinating about this product is you need that molecule NAD to be able to make what are called sirtuins. Now, I've been in the fitness business for 30 plus years, and I know a little bit about them. And what I used to know back in the day is, well, it's simple. You want to increase sirtuin levels, starve yourself. Eat, basically an 800 calorie a day a diet. It's through calorie restriction is how you increase sirtuin levels. But who wants to be miserable, right? And what's fascinating is and NAD products have been out for decades. There are 60,000 studies on NAD at the National Institutes of Health, but our competition can only increase sirtuin levels by 2% because it's not getting your own body to do its own work. In other words, turning on the pathway to get your body to make those sirtuins. So most products you take NAD, our products, we make NAD. And you can see within 24 hours, it increases your sirtuin levels by 100%, which is absolutely fascinating. And you can see the benefits: supports healthy longevity, removal of cellular waste, improves mental focus and concentration, supports positive mood and motivation, boosts mental and physical energy. It supports a healthy vascular system. It's just incredible. And this is what we're finding out, folks. And this is the reason why I want to go through these products. Is because when you take all 3 of them, and I'm not going to go into the science, but just look at the big blue lines. The big blue lines means that's what your body does when you take all 3 of them. So it's the synergy now of the NRF2, NRF1, and the NAD products that just really, really get your body to produce at levels we have yet to see. So that's, that is a fantastic, fantastic slide right there. I'll let the doctors next week kind of go into that. That's not Bob or my expertise. And I wanted to show this slide too, because these 3 products that I was just telling you about, our Tri-Synergizer, that's working the body from the inside out, all right? Inside the cell out. Well, what's your largest organ? I mean, obviously it's the skin, right? All right. And if you're going to do something right, wouldn't you want to do it 100% right? So you can't leave the skin, and you can't take care of the body from the inside out and forget about all the free radical damage or oxidative stress caused by the sun and everything else on our skin, right? Well, there's new skincare regimen, our True Science, that is an NRF2 activator. And you can see the patent at the bottom of this screen, and it's the 4 ingredients, right, that work together, that was able to have one of the only patents on a skincare regimen. So think about what I just said. With all the incredible skincare companies out there, we unequivocally know what this product's going to do. Now, what Bob would say and what I'm going to say, but not what a doctor wouldn't say, do you want a fast aging face or do you want a slow aging face? We know because the science that it's going to slow it all down because it turns off the bad genes that causes wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. That's what this product does. So it's absolutely fascinating. This is our product line. The top product, called our Vitality Stack, was ranked out of 3,900 different product lines in 79 countries. It placed 3rd and get the Bronze Stevie Award. So out of 3,900 products, this product right here was ranked number 3 in the world. So these are incredible because of the validity of the products. All right. You can see at the bottom, if you love you love your horses, you love your dogs, they have a lot more oxidative stress than we do. They age a lot faster than we do. We have that product as well as a nootropic and as well as the physique line for weight loss and maintenance of weight. So those are our products lines. But this is what I want to talk about. And Bob, you can chime in. This is what the company offers us from an opportunity standpoint. You can see the anti-aging world is a $300 billion That's with a B, industry. And that's what those activators do. And by the way, we have no competition. There isn't any all-natural activators out there that have peer-reviewed and patents behind them. We're first to market. Bob, does it make this opportunity a little bit easier when there's no competition and you have an ABC primetime news piece as your advertisement?
Well, absolutely. You know, there's so many products in the nutritional supplement line and in the skincare line, and even the brain food or energy drink line. When you can separate yourself by patents and science, and what the audience needs to understand is where the shift has already begun, and supplementation is going to be a thing of the past as people become more familiar with activate. We're not only the leading company in our field, but we're the leader in the science, and so activation is going to be what we hear about in the future. Supplementation is going to slowly but surely fade.
And you heard the video, folks, and this is Bob's spot on. Taking antioxidants are a thing of the past, right? Because you heard the video. It can only annihilate one free radical at a time. Having your body make them is the future. And making them kills 1 million bad guys per second. So I'll just ask you a very simple question. What team do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the one and done team? Or do you want to be on the 1 in 1 million per second team? That's what Bob's talking about. So you can see the billions of dollars. You got the 121 billion in the skincare world. And as I mentioned, we're one of the only skincare regimens that have a patent behind it. We unequivocally know when you put the goop on your face is going to do. And then the pet care is 67 billion. The energy world is a $50 billion market, and weight loss is a $37 billion market. And when you have category creating products, in other words, we're creating new categories, it makes it pretty simple because we set ourselves apart from the rest of the pack, right? And was that a determining factor in you and April when you looked into the product line on committing to LifeVantage?
Well, that was certainly a big part of it. We wanted to stay in the wellness, anti-aging, that space where we had some experience, but we also wanted something that had exclusivity, that people just couldn't buy it at the health food store or the GNC or the vitamin store. And, so yeah, that played a major role, along with how we get paid and the simplicity on how we do business.
Especially it's consumable, right? So that's a big plus in the residual side of things. As far as our product line, folks, this is a picture of our corporate headquarters in Sandy, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City. Something that's very interesting about this company is it started back in 2003. It was a biotech company called Lifeline Therapeutics. And all they had was a bunch of scientists. They had, no marketing, sales force at all. And actually in 2003, you could have bought this flagship product, Protandim, on the Dr. Laura show. And for those of you who don't know who Dr. Laura is, she's a marriage therapist counselor on AM radio. What does this product have anything to do with marriage therapy, right? That's their mentality, right? And then also you could have bought this product inside the Psychology Today magazine. I mean, what were they thinking? So needless to say, it failed. So then they thought they hit the mother lode. They put it in all 1,600 GNC stores, a few Rite Aids or CVS's, a few health food stores, and store shelves can't speak, right? Nobody knew what oxidative stress was. And stock dropped all the way down, to 7 cents. In other words, if Bob and I walked into a health food store, and no disrespect to the person who works in the store, they couldn't tell us the difference between one and done, direct antioxidants, and 1 million to 1 antioxidant enzymes, right? Like glutathione or SOD. And then if you happen to see it on a store shelf, and I go, hey, Bob, check this out. Reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Bob's going to look at me like I'm nuts and says, Gabe, I'm not stressed out. Are you stressed out? And everybody put the bottle back on the shelf because they thought oxidative stress was emotional stress. And again, has nothing to do with emotional stress. It's how and why we age on a cellular level and a major contributing factor of how we get diseases. So thank goodness they hired a consultant. The consultant says, come on, guys, this is an easy fix. Take it off the store shelves and put it in the oldest form of marketing, word of mouth. And that's precisely what Bob and I are doing right now. Now, from 2003 to 2009, folks, the company never exceeded $3 million in sales, lost money every single year. When they took it off the store shelves and they put it in our hands, and we went to people that we love and care for, right, family and friends, the company grew from 3 million to 200 million within a 4-year period. And now the company is pushing towards that $250 million mark. So Bob, with all your experience, what were some of the key points that you and April liked about the company LifeVantage?
Well, like I said, there were 4 things. You already covered the products, but we also like the transparency of being publicly traded and just being able to see what was really going on. And so, you know, we were with a company that was privately held, and, you know, they had a meeting one night, decided to close, pulled the plug, and it was over, you know. And so we like the transparency of that. We love the balance and the fairness of the pay plan, the compensation plan, how people could make money right away and get paid, how the middle class, we'll call the middle of the comp plan, is where most of the money was being paid out, yet there was still an opportunity for those that wanted to play big, with elite bonuses and revenue sharing bonuses and stuff. So
it's 18
that
hours.
was appealing because we had experience with writing compensation plans, so we were familiar with that. But I think the biggest thing, Gabe, and without a doubt, was the simplicity of how we do the business as compared to years ago. And, you know, for the listening audience out there, I'm going to tell you, if you've ever been involved in the network marketing or ever looked before, you know, you need to look again, because it's very, very different. Just like the phone, you know, the phones that we have in our pockets, you know, are computers. And 40 years ago, that computer that we now have in our pocket would have filled up a room, you know, with equipment to have the same amount of power. Well, here's what's happened. We went from doing business one-on-one in offices or hotel rooms and spending most of our time trying to get somebody to come fill up a seat in a hotel room to now, and let me ask you this. If you're a guest, if you're looking at this for the first time, have you ever used or called for an Uber with an app, you know, with the app on your phone, or Lyft? Have you ever purchased from Amazon? Have you ever rented from Airbnb, LinkedIn, or Instagram, or the big one, Facebook? Now, have you ever texted any friends or family? Have you ever watched a video on YouTube? See, if you've said yes to any or probably all of those things, then you're in this business. You just don't know it, and you haven't given the company permission to pay you yet, because that is how the business is done now. We just share information from a technology standpoint called our smartphone, either in the form of an app, a text, or a video. And, you know, the company pays us, you know, and can I get into that a little bit?
Yes, please. I put this screen up for you.
Okay, so, you know, whenever we, you know, I was thinking about being in Hilton Head for 3 days with April, and, you know, one day we were doing business from a bakery, another day we were doing business from a Mediterranean restaurant, another day we were in somebody's house, sometimes we were in the car. See, it doesn't matter where you are, and you don't need to be in a certain place to do business anymore, because we're global. We do business all over the world now. And imagine this. You share like the video Gabe showed, okay, maybe a shorter version of it, a 5 or 6 minute video. Somebody likes it. You text them a link to your website and they purchase the product, and you get an email saying you had a new customer, and next week you get 40% commission on the order. What did you do? Well, you sent a text of a video and a link for a product. You know what that did, Gabe? You know what the big game changer is there? Years ago, you needed to have the gift of gab in order to be able to do a network marketing business. And that's no longer true. Anybody can do this business now. Absolutely anybody.
I love it. And folks, our company is spending tens of millions of dollars on artificial intelligence with our app. So that app does all the work for you. So it's absolutely fascinating. And something that's rare in network marketing is your replicated website. This is like a picture of it. It's free. Other companies charge for that. So you have a library in your back office. You have anything that you need. The company basically does everything for us. The only thing that we do is we share, information with our friends to get customers and to get business partners. The company takes care of everything else. And like Bob said, it's as simple as shopping on Amazon. I mean, you have a cart. You order what you want. It's an easy checkout, and it's that simple. Your friend sends you a link, and there it is, and it's seamless. There's no product in your garage up to the ceiling because you can't sell it and it keeps coming in. That's old school thinking. So, Bob, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, go to the next slide for a second. So, there's 3 packages, that you really need to, if you're looking at this as a business tonight, we have a silver, a gold, and a platinum package. And I'll be honest with you, the best place to start the business, if you can, is a platinum package. And the reason for that is it costs $1,250, but you're getting about $2,000 worth of product, the website, the back office, the training, everything that Gabe was talking about. If you can't do that, there's a gold pack that's $650, and there's a silver pack that's $350. But here's, folks, if you hear, listening for the first time, just think about this, okay? If you don't do something different, if you don't make a decision to act on this opportunity, we're going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. These products, ProTandem, that family of products, LifeVantage, we're going to be a household word over the next decade, and you now know about it. If you don't act on this, what opportunity are you going to act on? We are getting ready to explode as a company and go from, Gabe mentioned, $250 million to $1 billion over the next few years, and then beyond that into multiple billions. And all you need to do is get yourself a package, get your website turned on, and start plugging into the training and system that's already in place. Like maybe tonight, somebody told you to watch this. You don't have to do it. You can send people to watch it.
This is what I want y'all to be thinking about. Now, Bob is a businessman. He owned, framing studios in New York. I owned health clubs. This is what he saw. This is what I saw. We've talked about this many, many times. Think about what Bob just said. You can become, a Mr. Starbucks. You can own your own distribution company. We own our own wellness distribution company, okay? And right now we're in 23 countries. To get started, it's $350, $650, or $1,250, and you're just buying products. Think about that. $50 of the $350 or the $650 or the $1,250, 50 of those packs are what's called a starter kit. So you're buying products for yourself. In other words, what I'm trying to say is there's no risk. So think about that. That's what's called low barrier entry. Bob, how much money did it take to start up your very first framing studio? back in the day?
Well, the first gallery store that we set up, it was $60,000 to fixture it. Okay, just to put fixtures in, carpeting, lighting, all that. And then it was another 100,000 or so to put inventory in it to do business. So 150,000.
Now think about this. All right, what if it costs $350, $650, or $1,250, right? And then the most important, folks, that I want to drill on you is the cost of doing business. What if it only cost you $200 a month to operate your business? And by the way, how much did it cost to operate that business that cost you $150,000 to open?
Well, there were 4 full-timers and 4 part-timers that were getting salaries. You know, it was $3,000 or $4,000 in rent per location, insurance, or electric, you know, alarm system, all of that stuff. So I don't know. It was a big number. It was.
So can you imagine?
It was a long time ago. It was a big number.
Well, what was the reason why that you got involved in the network marketing business? I heard a story that you couldn't collect your receivables.
Yeah,
right?
$250,000 in receivables didn't come in, and it ended up bankrupting the company.
Yeah. What if?
And that was after 13 years of. That was 13 years of hard work and a few months of receivables not coming in, and it was over.
See, folks, that was the questions that I had owning my own health club, because it cost me $500,000 to open up my first health club in 1987. And by the way, I haven't seen that money yet. It's like shoveling money down a black hole. And then it cost me about $50,000 a month to operate. You know, so look at the numbers now. And for those of you that are guests on tonight that are business owners, you know what we're talking about here. It's absolutely insane. What we're doing is we're removing, you know, the brick and mortar is what we're doing from business. It's seamless. You know, how much money did Airbnb invest in property last year? Zero. How much was Uber's maintenance bill and all their taxi cabs? Zero. There's no brick and mortar, right? They're using our cars. They're using our homes and condos. So that's this business. It's the advent of the internet, and we can reach people. You know, we've got a couple hundred people on tonight all over this country and abroad. And Bob's in Orlando, and I'm in Jacksonville from the confines of our own home, and we're building our network. So folks, that's what we do. So what Bob and I say is get in where you fit in. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, make that decision, get yourself a LifeVantage ID number tonight, and then start, you know, this is one of many, many tools that you can use to invite some of your guests on next Monday night. So, Bob, just kind of walk them through. I mean, there's 8 different ways of being paid. Why don't you cover 1 or 2 and I'll cover 1 or 2 and we'll wrap this thing up.
Well, you know, what got us excited was to be able to earn 40% on whatever we did personally, whether we enrolled a customer or a distributor, and know that we were getting paid that next week. Okay, so that was so to me, that was very, very important. And then the revenue sharing at the bottom, where once you reached 100,000 in business a month, you began to share in a 4% global revenue pool. And, you know, that encourages all the leadership to work together. It allows you to get paid on business done all over the world, even though you may not have been all over the world. Go ahead, Gabe.
And that so think about that, folks. Worldwide revenues, you know, so you know, we're in 23 countries. So when Bob goes to bed tonight and I go to bed tonight, you know, we're making money in Hong Kong, in Japan, Australia, Thailand, Taiwan, in Southeast, you know, hemisphere, the Southern hemisphere. When we wake up tomorrow morning, in the Northern Hemisphere, United States, Mexico, Canada, you know, the Netherlands, Spain, Germany, I can go on and on. There's 23 of them total. Your meter's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the company doesn't have you get to, you know, be 100% at the top of the compensation plan. It's 70% there. So when you hit 7, you're sharing in 1%. When you hit 8, you're sharing in 2%. When you hit 9, you're sharing in 3%. And when you hit 10, you're sharing in 4%. And when you hit that 7 rank and you maintain that rank for a year, see that picture of that blue Jeep? That is titled to you. And the word titled is the operative word. It's not a lease. And you get to pick and choose what color you want and all the fixins. So I think that's absolutely incredible. And this is our income disclosure statement. Now, I want all of you to be thinking this right now. How much money are you currently making residually? How much money did you make last month residually? And if the answer is the big fat zero, and that's the majority of this country, you might want to reevaluate your finances. All right. This is, a publicly traded company, as Bob mentioned. This is to the penny. It has to pass muster. It has to pass through the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission. And of course, these are through 2018. 2019, the numbers aren't in yet. And as we open more countries, this is the third income disclosure statement that I've been with in the 10 years, and the numbers have constantly increased. So if you look at the, look at the far left, I know you don't know what the ranks mean, but if you see the Pro 3 rank, that's what's called our foundation rank. The average Pro 3 makes $600 a month. With an extra $600 a month, well, actually $636, residually coming in month after month after month, as long as you maintain that Pro 3 rank. Would that help the household? I mean, so work backwards. See what your household needs to be able to run on its own. That's what I did. My first goal was to hit Pro 5 because I wanted $2,200 a month to keep my kids in private school, and that was the reason why I got started in the business. And that was about as far as I thought. Never in a million years would I've ever thought in 22 months I would have walked away from a 30-year career. Now think about that. In the 30 years I've been in the fitness business, the word retirement was nowhere on the horizon. And I can't say that I'm retired. If I did, I wouldn't be on this webinar right now, right? But I can certainly say this: my life is rewired. I can do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whom I want, right? And that's the reason why we get involved in this business. It's for time freedom. And if you do this business correctly, that's what this opportunity brings. So look at these ranks. If you look at the Pro 5 rank, that's $2,900 a month. Bob and April is elite Pro 7s, and they're knocking on Pro 8 door. And they hit that Pro 7 door in how many months was it, Bob?
7.
7 months. I mean, folks, are you freaking kidding me? The average is $12,600 a month. So it's fascinating business. So, if you're looking for a side hustle, if you're looking to pay off some credit card debt, if you're looking to keep your kids in private school like I was, or if you're looking to start savings for your kids' education, and what you're currently doing, the vehicle that you're in right now, is just not cutting it. Use this business like I did when I started, like Bob did when he started, as a side hustle. And if you do the business correctly, it will become a primary source of income. So Bob has 27 years. So people might say about this industry, oh, there's no stability. Well, that was his first time involved in this industry, and that was 27 years ago. This is my first time involved in this business, all right? And I've been involved with this company 10 years, and I'm what's called a Master Pro 10. So if you look at the third column, those are average monthly incomes. Now think about that. I've never made that kind of money in my life, in the residual, in the conventional business, because I'm trading time for money. It's linear, right? If I work 8 hours, you get paid 8 hours, right? Then what happens to the meter? It stops, right? What you want to do is you want to be able to do something one time, folks, and get paid again and again and again. All right. So hopefully, what Bob said tonight, maybe something that I said tonight, maybe, opened your mind a little bit more to explore this. I love what Bob said about this. Him and April tried to find a reason not to do this, and they couldn't. And that's all we ask of you. try to go find a reason not to do this. If you actually try to do that, you're not going to be able to find it. It's a perfect, prescription for success when it comes to business, with no competition, with ABC News as your advertisement. As Bob said, a very simple 1, 2, 3, way to share this business without using your vernacular, without even talking. You don't have to do that anymore because the advent of these kind of tools. So Bob, any parting words before we send everybody off?
Yeah, just think about this, audience. $1,250 2 years ago has already generated $3 million in business, and that's only 2 years in. If the $1,250 was in the bank, it'd be about $1,300 now. So it's a no-brainer. Just get with the person who told you about the webinar tonight, and tell them you're ready to get started.
Awesome. And for those of you that maybe you're not interested at this moment on the business side, at the very least, get with the person who invited you and thank them first, because they thought enough of you, because we're pioneering this new paradigm in health. We're first, but get on the products. If you really understand the importance of your health, and to be able to really understand what it really means to get your own body to do its own work, what your body was meant to do for the first 20 years of life, as Dr. McCord said, activate those survival genes. That's an absolute no-brainer.